Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So yeah, in this video I'll be talking about my top 15 favourite movies from the year 2011. Yeah, some great gems from this year. Really enjoyable stuff. Yeah, not one of my favourite years from this decade. I don't think things really pick up until about maybe 2013 onwards. But yeah, for me, some good ones in here. Yeah, just enjoyable movies. These are my, as always, my top personal favourite 15 from the year. And yeah, your list is going to be different as always, and so it should be. And as always, again, I'm going to leave a full list down below in the description box of honourable mentions that didn't quite make the cut for me. So yeah, that being said, going to kick it off with number 15. So coming in at number 15 for me, we have Bridesmaids. This was a movie I hated the first time I saw it with a passion. Absolutely detested it. Couldn't stand it. Yeah, was just completely in a mindset of not liking this film at all. Convinced myself I absolutely hated it. Yeah, it just really rubbed me up the wrong way the first time I saw this film. And I was dreading rewatching it. Absolutely dreading the time when the time came to rewatch this film. And I did. And my opinion of it changed. I went from hating it to actually thinking, you know what, that wasn't actually that bad. I was just in the wrong mindset, and yeah, I don't think I gave the movie a fair chance. I don't know why, but there were just some characters in this movie that really made some decisions I could not get on board with, and it really made me hate them as characters. I thought they were selfish, I thought they were horrible, I thought they were arseholes. But given the time between watching it for the first time and the second time, I kind of understood the characters a little bit more, and I sort of got what they were doing, where that was sort of coming from. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot more. I had fun with it a lot more. Again, I still don't think the movie's amazing, but I enjoyed it for the first time on that second rewatch. And yeah, it's I think it's an alright movie. I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's as funny as everyone makes it out to be. But it is enjoyable and it is entertaining. And I'm on that mindset with it now. I'm on that track with it now, as opposed to being where I used to be with the film. And that happens sometimes. You can be completely in the wrong place and watch a movie, in a completely negative mindset. And your opinion can change over time. And it has happened with me. And I'm sure it's happened with you as well. But yeah, coming in at 15th place for me, we have Bridesmaids. So coming in at number 14 for me, we have Margin Call. This for me is a very underrated drama / thriller type of movie. The cast of this movie is absolutely stacked. It's phenomenal, and it's all about this corporate business and what it's facing at the time. It's facing this massive threat. But yeah, it's just super underrated in my opinion. Like I said, the cast just absolutely amazing. Demi Moore, Kevin Spacey, Jeremy Irons. The list goes on. And it's just absolutely phenomenal. It was a real big surprise for me, this film. Really enjoyed it. It's not a lot happens in the movie visually. It is a very corporate boardroom type of a type of movie. But yeah, it's just one I really enjoyed. The cast was the selling point, and the story was pretty solid, and I just enjoyed it. I just had a great time with it. So yeah, coming at number 14 for me, we have Margin Call. So coming in at number 13 for me, and speaking of underrated, we have The Adventures of Tintin and The Secret of the Unicorn. I had to double check the title there, but yeah, it's this is just a phenomenal captured motion movie from Steven Spielberg, running very much in the same veins and cut from the same cloth as kind of the Indiana Jones movies for me. This movie is just a ton of fun with its adventure elements. It just looks absolutely gorgeous for that type of motion capture movie. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It really is. It's very, very entertaining from start to finish. And I just enjoyed it. Jamie Bell is great as Tintin as well in this film. And yeah, it's just an under-the-radar, really, really fun adventure movie from Spielberg. So yeah, that is my next pick at number 13, The Adventures of Tintin. So coming in at number 12 for me, we have Warrior, starring Joel Edgerton and Tom Hardy. Yeah, this is just a fantastic drama about this guy played by Tom Hardy who takes place in this fighting tournament to try and win some money, to try and help him the financial rut that he's in. And also his brother also takes place in the same tournament, who's now an ex-fighter, is now a respected teacher. And yeah, he has his reasons for wanting to take part in the tournament as well, and it's just about the two of them, going all the way to the end in this tournament, and great character arcs in the movie, phenomenal chemistry between the cast, and also the father played by Nick Nolte. Yeah, just an absolute phenomenal movie. Really, really enjoy this one. Yeah, just absolutely great. It's not one I go back to rewatch a hell of a lot, but that second time I watched the film, I really, really connected with it and really, really enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than the first. So, yeah, that is my next pick, Warrior. So coming in at number 11 for me is the movie that actually won Best Picture at the Oscars this year, and it is The Artist. Yeah, a really, really interesting movie that I really enjoyed it. I was a bit worried by the fact that this movie was a silent movie and that my interest wasn't going to be completely hooked and engaged, but it really, really was. Yeah, it was, we hadn't seen a silent movie, in the mainstream for a very, very long time. And yeah, I just absolutely enjoyed it. Great story, about the transition of silent movies moving to sound and the talkies and all of that, and how, actors were coping with that transition. It just really, really captured it so well. And the dog in this film, wow, one of the best dog actors you'll ever see. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. So worthy of Best Picture and Best Actor, in my opinion, this film. So really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, that is my number 11 pick, The Artist. So cracking into the top 10 now, and coming in at 10th place, I actually have two movies. I couldn't really decide between the two. And I think once you see them, I think it was kind of both fitting that these two took the 10th spot. And coming in at number 10, we have at joint place Thor and Captain America, the First Avenger. Yeah, introducing these characters into the MCU at this point. These movies are both fine, in my opinion. Really, really enjoyable, entertaining films, but they are just fine films on the whole. Yeah, Thor was a great introduction to a character that I think at the time people really sort of didn't know fully and didn't really, give that respect to in terms of, his superhero status at the time. But yeah, Chris Hemsworth really, really did a really great job of bringing him to the big screen, in my opinion, as the character. A fun story. And yeah, First Avenger is a great little redemption story. Steve Rogers, played by Chris Evans, is just absolutely great in the movie, in my opinion. And he's got a lot of heart and a lot of spirit, but he just doesn't have that physical build at the start of the film. And yeah, they're just great, entertaining little movies that I just really enjoy. But of course, these movies, I think, are stepping stones to what was going to be the bigger picture in the MCU. And yeah, I enjoyed them regardless. So yeah, that is my number 10 pick. Coming in joint place, we have Thor and Captain America, the First Avenger. So coming in at number 9 for me, we have Take Me Home Tonight. I absolutely love this film. It's just a great underrated comedy starring Topher Grace, Anna Farrell, and yeah, it's just a really, really fun film. Very early role for Chris Pratt in this movie as well. And yeah, it's just a fun movie about this guy who obviously falls in love with this girl. He works at this video store, and he just wants to impress her. And yeah, it's obviously made in the 2010s, and it's set in the 80s. The soundtrack of this movie is absolutely great. The look of it is great. Michael Biehn's great as well as the cop in this movie. And yeah, it's just a really, really fun, silly, underrated comedy, and I just absolutely love it. I just have a great time with this film. Really, really enjoy it, and yeah, it's so much fun. So yeah, that is my next pick at number 9. Take Me Home Tonight. So coming up next at number 8, we have The Help. This was a phenomenally acted film. I just absolutely think this movie looks gorgeous as well in terms of its aesthetics. Great story, this, about, you know, a group of women, all from different social classes and different backgrounds, set in the 60s, forming this friendship and going on this sort of writing project, as it were. And it's just a wonderful film. I think this movie kind of put a lot of rising stars at the time on the map, like Jessica Chastain, Emma Stone, Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer. Yeah, it just does a great job of giving these actresses a platform, and all at the same time being a really, really solid film. Really, really enjoy it. Great entry into the year of 2011. And yeah, I just felt absolutely phenomenal seeing it. And who can forget that pie scene? If you've not seen it, you just want to hurl afterwards. But yeah, really, really fun and enjoyable film, this one. So yeah, that is my next pick at number 8, The Help. So coming in at number 7, we have Crazy Stupid Love. This was a great, fresh, romantic comedy from that year, and I had an absolute ball with it. Amazing cast, amazing set of characters. You got Julianne Moore, Steve Carell, Marissa Tomei, Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling. Absolutely stacked cast. And like I said, this was just a fresh take on the genre. Really, really enjoyable. It wasn't cliched. It wasn't sappy in any way for me. It was just fun. It was humorous. It was intelligent. And yeah, a real credit to the genre. Really, really enjoyed this film. Yeah, just really, really relatable as well. A lot of, you know, interesting, like I said, interesting characters that you could just sort of relate to and understand. Yeah, really, really solid film. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, that is my next pick, Crazy Stupid Love. So coming in at number 6 for me is The Raid. Yeah, just a amazing action film. The action in this film is just blew me away. It reminded me of, you know, like an early John Woo film or something like Hard Boiled. Yeah, it was just absolutely phenomenal. Took me by storm. And yeah, completely pulled the rug from underneath me. Wasn't expecting it to be anywhere near as good as it was. Just a great police raid movie, you know, sort of taking over this high-rise business building's been taken over, and the police, you know, are trying to get it back and put order to it. But it's just a relentlessly paced movie. It doesn't give you time to breathe with its action. It's just on and on and on. And yeah, it just doesn't let up at all. Really, really awesome stuff. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, just a phenomenal, entertaining action movie that we hadn't really got for a long time. And this one really, really sort of breathed new life into the genre, and I just had a great time with it. So yeah, that is my next pick, The Raid. So coming in at number 5 for me is a British movie directed by Paddy Considine. And it is Tyrannosaur. Now, this is probably the one movie on this list that I have watched the least. It is not a pleasant watch. It is very, very hard-hitting, very upsetting at times. But my God, it is phenomenally acted. I believe the lead actor in this role, who I've seen him in a few supporting roles. He's also in a Ken Loach film called My Name is Joe, which was a phenomenal movie. He's also in Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Children of Men, but wow, he was really, really put on the map in this film. The movie also stars Olivia Colman as well, who's this woman who's a victim of domestic abuse from her husband, and my God, it is just harrowing. Some really upsetting scenes with a couple of dogs in this movie as well. The opening is just really hard-hitting. And yeah, there's this scene in the movie where the lead actor is pretty much trying to like demolish the shed in this yard, and he's like hammering away, and it upsets one of the neighbors. And I'm just gonna leave it there. And that scene then, is called back to, and in a future scene in the movie, and it's just phenomenal. It's heart wrenching when you see this movie. It's really, really uncomfortable, but it's so good with what it does. It's just ruthless. It is gritty. It's brutal. Yeah, phenomenal stuff. And who knew Paddy Considine could, helm all of this and stitch it all together in this movie with his direction? Phenomenal. Yeah, so that is my number 5 pick, Tyrannosaur. So coming in at number 4 for me, just missing out on the podium places, is Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I was a massive fan of Planet of the Apes growing up as a kid. Really, really enjoyed it. Before the Tim Burton remake came out, I loved those 5 movies. I used to rewatch them all the time for about a year. Yeah, I just dug them. I dug that series. Really, really enjoyed it. And the Tim Burton remake was a disappointment, I must admit. There's things about it I like, but overall, I don't think that's a good movie. And then we were getting word that, there might be another Planet of the Apes movie. Rise of the Planet of the Apes came about. The trailer came about. And I must admit, I wasn't impressed. I wasn't sold. I wasn't won over. And then I actually saw the movie and I was like, this movie has, it has a brain about it. It's smart. It's different. It's doing something new. And yeah, I just enjoyed it from start to finish. I thought the movie just escalated with its tension. Really, really enjoyed it. Andy Serkis was absolutely phenomenal in the role of Caesar. It's heartbreaking, some of the stuff he has to go through, but the realization by the end of it all makes sense and it all comes together. And you can't wait to see what's next in the next installment. And I really, really enjoyed this one. This was a movie. This is one of those movies where I forget how good it is until I sit down and watch it. And then I remember, damn, this is a damn good movie. So yeah, just missing out on the podium places for me. Coming in at 4th place, we have Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So coming in at 3rd place for me, we have X-Men First Class. Yeah, I was a massive X-Men fan. I enjoyed the first 2 movies, definitely, and I was a massive fan of the cartoon in the 90s. Absolutely loved it. And we first heard that we were going to get this prequel, it was going to be a young Eric Lynch and a young Charles Xavier. And yeah, I was really, really intrigued to see where this movie was going to go. And of course, I love movies where you have characters who start out as friends who eventually become enemies. And I love, what they could do with that, how different ideologies can clash. And yeah, it was just a really, really awesome, entertaining movie. I absolutely loved it. It's coming together these mutants who, one of them believes, we are the next stage in human evolution. We're going to surpass humans. And the other one believes that, yes, we are the next stage, but we can also coexist with humans and we can learn from each other. And the 2 ideologies set these 2 characters on 2 different paths. And it was just an absolute joy of a film to watch, despite, it's downer ending, in my opinion. But yeah, really, really understand where both of these characters are coming from and where they want to go. And I just really, really enjoyed it. I thought the new cast of the movie was great. I loved where it was going. I loved the setting. And I loved the 3rd act of this film. And I just thought it was great. Really, really enjoyable. James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender were perfectly cast as the young versions of Professor X and Magneto. And yeah, really, really solid film for me. So coming in at 3rd place, we have X-Men First Class. So coming in at number 2 for me, taking the silver medal, we have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Yeah, this was the conclusion. This was the culmination of 8 films. How everything was going to be brought to an end. Who was going to win? Who was going to lose? Who was going to live? And who was going to die? Yeah, this film definitely does have a heavy body count in it when you think about it, and yeah, it really paid off and it really worked for me. My big criticism about the movie is the differences from the movie and the book. This is the one that definitely made a lot more changes as opposed to Deathly Hallows Part 1, which I think was definitely a sort of like-for-like copy. It just left things out. This one changed things up a bit, and I wasn't really happy about that. But on the whole, it still makes for an emotional trip and an emotional punch. Alan Rickman kills it as Snape in this film. You find out where his loyalties lie in this movie, and yeah, it's just a great revelation. Absolutely is. You completely understand, you know, where we're going with his character, and he's probably one of the best Harry Potter characters there is. Severus Snape, and yeah, it's just a great character arc. Really enjoyed it. The action is all there as well. The stakes are there, like I said about the first one. Yeah, a very powerful, hard-hitting movie, and I just really enjoyed Deathly Hallows Part 2. So yeah, coming in at second place for me, we have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. So that leaves us with one movie left, and yeah, this was a great movie. I absolutely enjoyed this, and it is Drive. Yeah, this was a movie that I like more and more every time I watch it. A great premise about this sort of Hollywood stunt driver who by day performs stunts for movies, and by night he is an escape driver for anyone who needs him. People, you know, who rob banks, people who need to get away from a location as quickly as possible. They hire this guy to drive them. And yeah, that's the movie. It's phenomenal. Ryan Gosling kills it in this movie for me. He's just absolutely great. I want that jacket he has with the scorpion on the back. It is just, yeah, it's just an iconic image. I just, yeah, absolutely love it. The cast of this movie is absolutely phenomenal. You got Albert Brooks in there, Bryan Cranston as well, Kerry Mulligan, and yeah, the movie just looks phenomenal. And also as well, kind of acting as a character in this film, the soundtrack is just absolutely killer. I loved the music in this movie. It was phenomenal, absolutely joyous. It goes hand in hand with the rest of the film. What an absolute joy and a treat. This movie really worked for me, and again, it gets stronger and stronger each time I watch it. Phenomenal stuff. Absolutely love this film. Haven't got really any complaints about it. I just love it. It just ticked all the boxes for me, guys. It really did. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but for me, absolutely solid. My favourite film from 2011. So yeah, coming in at first place for me, we have Drive. So yeah, those are my top 15 favourite movies from the year 2011, guys. Gonna leave the video there and say, hope you've enjoyed it. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.